Champaign County Agriculture Today with your host, Dennis Riggs.
Hello and welcome to Champaign County Agriculture Today. Look what we've done. For those of you who've seen our program before, you said, this is a different program. What's going on? Well, we've gone to the great outdoor because today on our program, a special treat. The great American pastime, grilling out. I don't care if it's summer, winter, fall, or whatever. Food tastes best when it's grilled outside properly. So today on our program, we're going to bring in two experts that know everything there is to know about grilling food outside. And of course, we've actually got the food here that we're going to do and all the utensils and things we need. We're going to teach you things you need to know for grilling and cooking outside to be the most enjoyable, healthy, and of course good for your family. So sit back and relax. This is going to be a fun time. We've never done a program outside like this before, so we hope you will enjoy it. Today on our program we have Robin Orr, University of Illinois Extension. Robin, always a pleasure to have you with us. How are you doing?
Good to be here, thanks.
Are you ready to go do some outside grilling?
I'm ready to grill.
And we're going to keep it healthy.
We're going to keep it healthy.
Okay, and we have Dr. Tom Carr, Tom with the University of Illinois Meat Sciences Department. Glad to have you here. Now you're going to tell us what we're going to grill, right?
Yes, I will.
Because maybe I don't know. I don't know. There looks like some pretty good stuff standing by over there, which is a wonderful thing. Before we start, we've got to make sure that we're safe. Robin, what are the things that we need to do to make sure our food is safe when we're taking our preparation outdoors to the grill?
Okay, well, if we start with meat in the refrigerator and it's fresher meat, you want to cook it within a couple days. And if you've frozen it, you need to thaw it. And if you thaw it in the refrigerator, it takes 24 to 48 hours to get the meat to thaw. Then you want to make sure that you keep it, if you're going to put it in a marinade, if you're going to do if you want to do any pre-prep, it stays in the refrigerator after you do those things. Then when you bring it out to the grill, you want to make sure your grill is clean. So you keep your grill clean, and the plate you deliver your meat to the grill on is not the plate you take it off the grill on. And pretty much if you stick to those things and you pick the food you like and you pay attention and stay outside with your grill instead of inside with your company, you'll get really good food.
That's a wonderful, great tips right there right off the bat. The old adage that a dirty grill or one that's got the goo on it tastes better, what's wrong with that again?
It's just not it's not your best choice.
Okay, all right.
It's not your best choice. You don't want old food that's sat on the grill for days. You don't know who's been in your grill.
Okay, or what?
Or what? And it's better to keep your grill clean.
Now you've got a tool
Monster
here.
tool.
This is a fantastic tool. Now I've got a putty knife out in my garage. I also, clean the oil up off the floor, and I've been using it.
Actually, keep your grill tools separate and just working on your grill.
All right.
You don't get to don't open your toolkit.
Okay, separate things for food preparation.
Food is different, and the number one thing you need to make sure is that your hands and all your cooking surfaces are clean. And it's really important, particularly in the environment we're in today, that you keep your hands as clean as you can and you don't touch your eyes, nose, or mouth while cooking.
Okay. Now, when cleaning your hands, and is it just soap and water, or is there something better?
Soap
or is there
and
a
water works
combination?
the very best, and you just make sure that you clean everything on your hands, and you clean it, and you take, sing happy birthday to yourself a couple times, and keep the soap going.
Okay. Well, if you've heard me sing, that's probably not a good idea.
That's why wash by yourself.
Go by yourself, I understand. Thanks, Robin. Appreciate it. Tom, as far as cooking out, we have charcoal grills, we have gas grills. Do you have a preference? What's the difference between the two?
Well, actually, I do have a preference. I actually prepare on a charcoal grill, but there are some advantages and disadvantages with both. Some people swear by charcoal and say that the meat has a better flavor once it's prepared. That's, I suppose, probably the biggest advantage if you feel that way. It's more difficult to start up. It's more difficult to control the cooking temperature, the internal degree of doneness on a charcoal grill, but with a little bit of experience you can do that very effectively. Gas grill obviously is convenient. Crank it up anytime you want to, and you can certainly control the cooking temperature a lot better than you can with a charcoal grill, especially if you're inexperienced from that standpoint. So, it's just one of 6 of one and a half dozen of the other as far as preference is concerned. Gas grills can get pretty expensive, whereas an old Weber's not too bad.
I was just going to say that I've seen charcoal grills especially for $9.57, and I've seen charcoal grills for $109. What's the difference? Why is one cooked better than the other?
Well, some may be be a kettle where you can cover it, that type of thing, and so you can get an indirect type of cooking as well as direct type of cooking. Where some of those cheap ones is just simply a grill that you would put charcoal, and then you'd have your top, and that would be it. You can't do indirect cooking very well with that as far as the outside environment
because
is
you like
concerned.
charcoal grilling the best, we bought a gas grill today.
I see that. I see that.
So we thought we'd give you a
we'll
little bit of a challenge.
definitely experiment.
Okay, we'll talk about gas grills. Is there what's the differences? What should you look for when you're selecting a grill?
Certainly the different types of methodologies you want as far as grilling is concerned. Can I do indirect? Can I do direct grilling? Those are two very important things, I think, when trying to select whether it be charcoal or gas grill. Thermometer, those types of things that you can use to monitor degree of doneness that you might have internally in a gas grill. That certainly helps, shorten the length of time that you might be preparing it or control the degree of doneness to have a more desirable end product as such.
Okay.
So there's lots of different things that, bells and whistles that you can order on a gas grill and even in a charcoal grill.
It's like power windows on an automobile. Do you
Exactly.
want it? Do you not? Which way do you go?
Exactly.
All right. What about the meats? Is it pork? Is it beef? Is it kebabs? Is it pre-prepared? What's the best type of meat to cook out on the grill?
Well, really, that's up to the individual preference. I mean, you can grill chicken, you can grill fish, steaks, you can do roasts, all kinds of ground products. So it's what you desire as far as the consumer is concerned. But you can cook really any meat on a gas grill or a charcoal grill.
Okay. Robin, what should we do to get started? We have various things for people, and we're wondering what are all these great devices we have here. This looks like paradise in the kitchen section.
In the kitchen section, absolutely.
We've already talked about the grill cleaner
the
here.
super duper cleaner.
All right, we'll set that over here.
This is a grilling basket, and grilling baskets are used for a number of things. But since Tom mentioned that you can eat anything you like, this is a great basket for putting a roast in, and if you marinate the roast and you marinate the vegetables around it, you get a very outdoorsy flavor to your roast. You can also put vegetables in here and do anything you like with these kind of baskets. This is a fry pan that you put on the grill, and you can cook almost anything in it. But generally, there's been a large trend moving toward people grilling vegetables, and you cut up put peppers and potatoes. You can grill corn on the cob, but we generally do that in foil with a soaked ear. But in here you can use peppers and onions and mushrooms and things that you like and it gives them a nice grilled flavor.
But the problem is, it drips. It goes through. It's not like a saucepan on a stove.
But that's
you lose
okay.
your juice.
No, you don't lose your juice.
Oh, okay.
If you lose your juice in everything in grilling if you cook it too long. Your best thing is keep an eye on it. Don't go in the house.
Oh.
Stay outside. Anyway, they have lots of things, and at the end of the
here?
season, this is for if you're really innovative. This is for doing hors d'oeuvres, and you can put like mushroom caps in here. You can make little fish balls. You can do whatever you want in these kinds of things, and it's just a way of keeping it together.
Also hold deviled eggs in here.
You
it looks
could
like.
too. You could do that too, and keep it inside.
It's not an ice cream tray.
And
though.
then we have a lot of people fish. They don't fish always in Illinois, but in areas around here where there's water, people fish. And fish fall apart on a grill sometimes. So they have these are springy, and you can actually put something in there and it stays. And this also allows you to turn things over and evenly cook your food. And there's millions of these items out there, and you just pick the one that works best for what you're interested in doing. And it's almost always good to do fish on something like this, because if you let it cook a little too long, it falls apart on the grill, and you lose a lot of it to the charcoal or the gas.
Yeah, and this would be great for hot dogs, bratwurst,
Right.
something like that also.
Absolutely. I've always chased the food across the grill with a spatula.
Yeah,
That's
you
not a
need
good
these
thing.
things.
I need some of
You
this.
need
Okay,
these things,
and then it always
Dennis.
falls off in the back, and the dog's got to eat something. Yeah. All right.
feed the animals.
We have a couple of thermometers here. What is the purpose of the thermometers? How do you use them when you're grilling?
Well, the purpose of thermometers so you can monitor the degree of doneness, and maybe you like yours medium rare, which would be around 150 degrees internal temperature. And with the thermometer, I can check that, recognizing that the meat, after I take it off of the grill, is going to increase internally as far as temperature 5 to 10 degrees. So if I want to 150 degree steak, then I would cook it to 140, remove it from the grill, let it set for about 10 minutes, and I'll be right at medium rare 150. So degree of doneness, that's detection is what these are for.
Now, is that left in all the time, or is it simple as sampling? You take it back out, sampling.
This particular thermometer right here, I could use in an oven because it is coated and I can leave it in a big roast all the time. This one here is just a quick read, and so I can't do that. It's not made to leave into in the grill or the oven, for during the heating process or cooking process. So, but the important thing is to use them.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
It's the only way to tell if they're done.
Even real men use thermometers?
Real men use thermometers, and so do women.
And women too.
Yes, they do.
Robin, I know there's some guidelines that are available. I know we're going to go through a lot of information quickly. Where can people find out information about this to learn more about proper temperatures and how recipes and that type of thing?
Well, frankly, when you get a thermometer, it often comes with a grilling with a temperature chart that goes with meat. And you can also there are lots of governmental websites, but mostly the Food Safety Inspection Service, fsis.gov. They have all of the grilling, they have all the temperatures. They don't know as much as Tom does, because what Tom just told you about, if you wanted about the internal temperature happening, they're much more interested in the absolute temperature. So what you learned here was more exciting, and it actually works better, and your food gets to the temperature you want it. But you can go to government sites, you can go to extension sites. They all have the information you need on grilling. We also have, on our extension sites, we have recipes for marinades and recipes for doing different things with grilling.
Cool. Well, we have 3 cuts of meat that we're going to work on today. Tom, what have we got today? And I want to start out with the one that takes the longest to cook.
Well, we've got some boneless loin chops right here,
Okay.
of pork. People are somewhat, pork should probably be cooked about 160 degrees internal temperature as far as fresh pork is concerned. So that'll take a little bit of time there, but it's not very thick. It's about 3/4 of an inch thick.
What about the thickness? How thick can you cook something that's on the grill?
Oh, as thick as you want.
Doesn't make any
really.
difference. Okay.
It's just
All right.
going to take you longer. If you got a roast, it's going to take you longer. I love to take these chops right here, cut them to 1.25 inches in thickness, and it'll take about 8 minutes on a side to be at about 160 degrees internal temperature.
Okay.
On that.
I understand there's a place on campus where you can buy meats. Is there maybe I'll tell us a little bit about that?
Certainly there is. We actually sell meat at the Meat Science Laboratory. We call it Ag Sales every Tuesday and Thursday afternoons and Friday mornings, and we sell a variety of fresh and cured products there.
Very good. Ready to go.
Ready to go.
All right. Robin, what should we do before we put this on the grill? I mean, it's all been cleaned. Everything's in good shape. Is there anything else we need to do?
Put her on the
Put
grill.
her on the grill. Tom, you're our man.
All right,
Let's go.
we'll
Go
do
on
that.
Over there. Let's go. He's going to start off. We're going to put our first items on the grill here today because we're hoping when we get done that we'll have some good stuff here to look at. Tom, you were talking earlier about direct and indirect. Is this a chance to talk a little bit about that?
This will be direct right here, and we're putting these 4 chops on. They have not been really marinated or any kind of a rub put on them. It's just straight meat.
So right out of the grocer's shelf, right onto the grill.
That's exactly right.
We did clean the grill. Nice. Oh,
Grill
yeah.
is beautifully clean, and I'm going to take a quick look at my watch right here. I've done this a lot, so we're paying attention to the time that it's on.
Should we try a new
We
one?
also have some beef steak
Oh, look at those. All
right
right.
here, and
Hold this up to the
take
camera.
a look at that. That is bone-in top loin steaks, which we know as strips or KC strips or New York strips is kind of a common name for them, but that's longismus dorsi muscle there, and that should be very tender if cooked properly and all that good stuff.
All right, while Tom's putting those on the grill, Robin, tell me some things you could do. If you want to get a little exotic with these meats, tell us about marination or rubs. What does that do to the meat?
It adds flavor to it, and it also adds moisture to the meat. This is a dry cooking method, and if you marinate a meat ahead of time and you inject it into the muscle, you can sometimes increase the moistness of the meat and the tenderness of the meat. You don't need to keep them in marinades very long. Some people say keep it in days. No, a couple hours should do you a good job. You mix up flavors you like. If you have a favorite salad dressing, if you want to add a little lemon or vinegar or something to things, they keep meat. They actually deliver flavor to the meat. And you just have to make sure that when you take the marinated meat out, what you do with it is you make sure you boil it and you don't use it again unless you boil it.
Ah, okay.
Because it has meat drippings in it, and that's the part that keeps it from being
Notice
safe.
what we're doing here too, folks. Notice how the pans, the containers that the meat came from originally, is being separated totally from
the plate
plates.
will return
And
them
why
to when
is
they're
that?
done. Well, these keep meat drippings on them. They don't look like they have much, but they have meat drippings, and you don't want cooked meat to mix with uncooked meat, because then this is where bacteria grow. And we're also working at an outdoor temperature, and the danger zone for temperature is 40 degrees to 140 degrees. We're sitting in it.
Yeah.
And this is where you have the fastest growth of microorganisms in food, and you don't want that. That's why we're cooking it.
Tom, we got the meats on the grill. We got the grills cooking over there. What about the temperature? I know some grills have a thermometer built into them. What should we be looking for?
Most recommendations are to be at a medium temperature, say in that area of around 300 degrees
300,
to 350.
okay.
And if you had a charcoal grill, if you put your hand close to where your grate is going to be, what you're going to put the meat on, and if you can count to 4, that's medium degree of heat. If you count to 2, it's pretty blasted hot. And so you got to really pay attention to what you're doing there. But medium is about right.
And you might try the thermometer method first until you get really good at that, or
That's correct.
or have
Or
911 close
unless you're
by.
interested in eating your hand.
Yeah, you want to cook your hand. That's true. All right, so Tom, we've got them on the grill. Oh, look at that. That's looking fantastic. How often do you open the grill, and is there advantage or disadvantage to checking it too often?
Disadvantage in checking it too often. You really,
The best bet is to know what you got on the grill, cook it on one side, cook it on the other side, and return it to the plate.
Okay.
she's exactly
Really?
right. Turn it once.
Turn it once.
Turn it
No
once.
kidding. I'm learning
So you're
something. here.
failing at
I am
grilling at home,
failing. I
aren't you?
like to watch. So okay. So, oh wow. So you should know the approximate cooking time.
Yep.
About halfway into it.
Yes. And like I just turned the loin chops because they've been on about 4 or 5 minutes. And in another 3 minutes, we're going to turn the beef steaks. And another 3 minutes, we'll be turning the pork. Now, obviously, you'd like to have that all on at the same time, so you're only opening that up once, turning it and closing it back up.
It's not different than an oven. When you open an oven, the heat moves out of the oven. Same thing happens here, and it has to get up to its temperature again in order to cook.
So after a few times of doing this, you don't have to worry about what's going on inside. It's cooking. Leave it alone.
That's
Right.
exactly right.
Because the temperature, once you open that up, the temperature goes out. You're,
Yep.
you're losing some of your energy efficiency.
you're really
Especially
worried-
if you're charcoaling.
Yes.
Right.
A little better control here with the gas grill than you've charcoaling.
Okay.
And if you're really interested, you can get one of those grills with a window on it. You
Man,
can
that's
watch.
for me. I want a camera. I want
Yeah.
to record the whole
There you
process. Keeping the flavors in. When it's down, we see a little bit of smoke coming off here. Is that from the actual fire, or is that from the meats? What is that coming off?
The drippings would drip down on the heating element, and it gives you smoke.
And that's why the flavor.
That you get this flavor from that, and that's why we grill outdoors.
Okay, all right. How about people that try to do it indoors? Let's just step back.
Grill
here for a
indoors?
No, they have they have those things now that
Little
you can
hibachi
get.
things,
Well,
or
no, they
the
got
electric grills?
the Gen Air. They've got the little
You
fan.
can do that. You can do that.
Is it as good? What's the difference?
Well, it depends how picky you are about flavor. This is a distinct flavor. Outdoor cooking is a distinct flavor. It's all your food tastes different outdoors, and it's a nice thing, and but you bring it indoors often to eat. it has to do with personal taste and what you like. And if you were, people who are raised on weird food, like weird food.
Weird food.
I was raised
Define
on
weird food for me.
I was raised on chicken gizzards as a delicacy, and I don't have a lot of friends who eat that. But we thought that was very, very good. We still do, and others don't.
Tom, how's it going over there? What's the process?
It's going well. We're about ready to take some beef off here pretty quick, as well as some pork.
No kidding. Okay, all right.
And this is a pretty hot fire, as we have here. And now, after we take this off, we could add a little bit of salt or any kind of an ingredient you want to add some flavoring to it.
Well, that's a question I had. Some people like barbecued flavored, some like teriyaki. Is that to be done during the grilling, or should that be done afterwards?
Well, to marinate, if I was marinating, say, teriyaki, I would do that prior to, generally 6 hours at least in a bag, and then put it back in your refrigerator, and sometimes you might want to marinate up to 24 hours as far as that's concerned.
Is there flavoring that's done on the grill itself?
You can do rubs on meat.
Rubs,
and
okay, there we
rubs
go.
work very well, and you can also. There are a lot of different choices about do you season it before you grill it or after you grill it, and that often is dependent upon your cook.
Okay, all right.
The thing that he talked about earlier is when he talked about bringing the pork to temperature, and that if you want it to be 150 degrees, you cut it off when it's 140 because it will grow.
Right.
That's where you set your meat at the end, and you don't just cut right into it. You let it sit. That keeps the moisture, that keeps the juices inside the meat, and it lets them move back into the meat after cooking. And it's a good thing. It's best not to. Oh, these look wonderful.
Oh my heavens!
That's why you do this, so you have those little grill marks.
Those don't come. That's not a felt tip marker.
Nope,
or
it's
anything
not
to
a
put on
felt
there.
tip marker.
Oh,
That's
all
why
right.
you eat outdoors.
Oh, that's fantastic. That gives that flavor right there.
I
into
feel
it.
really good about our cook today.
I think
too.
we're in good hands there, Robin. I think we're in good shape here with Tom. All right. All right. So now it's been cooked. Our guests are out playing volleyball or badminton, but our meat's ready to go. What should we do here?
You let it sit for 10 minutes. You bring the rest of the things you're going to have at your meal out, and they've been in the refrigerator safe. Your potato salad and your salads and whatever else you're choosing to eat with this. And there you go. And then when it all comes together, everybody gets to the table, and you cut your meat, and you usually let people self-select, don't you?
Yeah, it's called grazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pick your own meat.
Can we do a temperature probe of something to kind of get an idea of how that would work out? What do you think?
Well, we can try that.
All right, give that a
Here.
shot.
You want your coated one?
Yeah, let's just.
Actually, a good thing to do would be to have them show you how you do this on a hamburger.
Okay.
Because
all right.
it's really important. The only way to actually know you have temperature, unless you have a Champion griller, is to insert a thermometer in it so that it goes through the meat.
Once the thermometer is placed
Look at
into
that.
Can you tell me?
where we at?
Yep. We're at 115.
115.
115.
All right,
Yeah.
need a little bit more. Is that right?
Yeah.
Well,
What are we shooting for?
Yeah, I'm shooting for about 140.
140. Okay. Well, like I said, the grill's turned down a little bit. We were trying to conserve our LP here a little bit.
There you go.
So, and is there a rough rule of thumb of how long it takes it to get another 10 degrees warmer on the inside?
About 10 minutes sitting out.
10 minutes sitting out. See, this is a concept. I'm learning something here today, folks, about this. It finishes up outside,
Yeah.
where that last 10 degrees comes up from the outside.
Just
okay.
for the record,
Yes.
all cooking does that.
All cooking. Okay.
It's why you do the same thing in the oven, you do the same thing in the microwave, you let it sit, you don't eat immediately.
Okay. Of course, this is a great gas grill. We're getting a little bit of flaming over there. Now, when I grill, we get a lot of flaming. As a matter of fact, I've set off smoke alarms a mile away. What is that, and how do you combat that?
Well, if you're
On a
if you're
charcoal
on
grill.
a charcoal grill, you got to lower your damper. In other words, lower your vents, close your vents up a little bit, and that slows the airflow from going up into your grill, and that will help slow down, obviously the firing of that concern. So you can control it with your vents as far as that's concerned. Some people will spray water.
The
on
water. What about the water bottle? Is that?
Well, it'll do it. It'll slow it down, but it may really damage your overall cooking ability of those coals if you're wanting to continue to cook for a while.
Because you'll actually be putting the fire out a little
Exactly.
bit. Okay. All right. Well,
But you are putting the fire on a gas grill.
Yeah,
'Cause it's a continuous
It's going to keep
flame.
going, so you don't have to worry about that.
That's right.
So water's a better shooter on your gas grill.
Okay, all right. All right, it's coming along real nicely. Now, last but not least,
I think we're ready here.
yeah, we got about 3 minutes left here in our program, so we're wanting to make sure. Now, the last cut of meat, did we talk about that very much? What
That's
are those?
hamburger.
These are hamburgers,
I was going to say,
and the meat juices are coming to the surface and they're clear. So that tells us that should be at least 160 degrees internal if we're just looking at the meat itself.
okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Okay.
So after a while, a true expert will understand these little subtle hints of what the meat's doing and how it responds to the fire. Okay.
It's called pay attention.
Pay attention.
Pay attention. And the other, we worry more about hamburgers. There's a lot of scare around hamburgers because people write funny books about stuff,
Yep.
and we've had some scares in where meat came from sometimes. So it's a good thing to get used to figuring out how you're grilling. Practice with thermometers. Use thermometers until you get as good as Tom. And he showed you how you put the thermometer in horizontally, and that's important.
All right, so now we've got, how about the color? The color of the meat. Is there
Looks
different?
good.
I mean, we've got the pork. It's a lot. It looks good, just so it looks good. Is there a rule of thumb to go? We see these grill marks on here.
Mm-hmm.
Does that come from the searing? What causes that to be a different color?
The metal in the grill has more heat on it, so that
it got
actually
hotter
heated
there.
to a higher
It
temperature.
actually truly got hotter there.
And that's a
Indicator?
browning effect.
Yes, it's a browning effect
it's a
of the
browning
surface
effect
of the
you get
meat.
from the surface.
Okay, and it's not a problem as far as taste. Matter of fact,
No.
it may
Oh
actually
no!
enhance
and
that.
actually, and you can get little brands that I have one. My daughter got me that says has a black eye, and so I can brand my chops or my steaks, and it's
That's good.
kind of a neat appearance.
Uh-huh.
As you're serving meat to a group of people, that type of thing. So a lot of neat things you can do on that, but that's just simply the grill mark.
What about the capacity of the grill? Is this kind of if you got a big grill and you only want to fire up to do 2 hamburgers, is that not a good idea? Is there any problems there?
This grill has 2 sides to it. You only have to turn one side on.
That's
Okay.
exactly right.
All right.
You can control that. And that when you asked about dollars, as you go to these higher dollar grills, you have some convenience things, accessories like that, where you don't have to fire up the whole grill, to prepare meat. You can do it in a low calorie. That's a challenge with the charcoal grill.
So we can be a little energy conscious as we do this on a grill like this, because we can crank down one side, and if we're just doing a small meal, use half of it. A big meal, use the other half.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Can you reuse charcoal?
No.
No, okay, just
It's called ash.
Ash after that, okay. Well, tell you what, this has been an absolute delight. Folks, we have got here prepared what is probably the ultimate in outdoor grilling, both our pork and our beef products, compliments of Tom Carr and Robin Orr at the University of Illinois. Thank you so much for coming. You encourage people to grill out? Is that a good idea?
It's a wonderful thing. It's a great way to get your family together and talk around a meal and have a great time outside.
Yeah, and you can grill 365 days a year.
Do it no matter what the temperature is outside.
exactly right.
But don't put the grill inside the garage.
No, that's
Please
not a
do
good
not
idea.
Put, or
All
in
right.
the kitchen.
Folks, thanks for tuning in. We've had a blast. Glad you've enjoyed it. Hope you'll join us next time when we won't be grilling out, but we'll be telling you more about agriculture on Champaign County Agriculture Today. I'm Dennis Riggs. Thanks for listening.
Champaign County Agriculture Today is brought to you by Champaign County Farm Bureau.